Morning, friends. A very warm welcome to today's Science of Mind Club workshop. And in this short session, we cover the neuro-linguistic programming essentials in this mini series of NLP. But before we get started, a very warm welcome. And once again, as this is the first class of the new year, I would like to wish you a very, very happy new year. And may this year brings you a lot of good health, a lot of wellness, and a lot of prosperity in the days to come. Yeah. So let's get started. Today is another special episode of this NLP mini series that we are doing, and it is all about the positive change that we are trying to manifest in our life. So let's get started. Some of my favorite quotes or the suggestions that I would like to start with. Yeah, change will lead to insight far more than insight will lead to change. That means that in every change lies an insight, and every insight can lead to a change, but it is most importantly the experience that creates the insights. Moving on, enlightenment is always preceded by confusion. So let's say if in your life you are ever feeling confused, if you're feeling that have hit rock bottom or there is a lot of confusion, lot of anxiety, just be prepared that this is a possibility of a new door which is opening up. This is a new possibility in your timeline where you are going to create that magic in your life. Okay. So if we go back to the stories of the heroes, just when the hero feels that they are getting absolutely confused, or when they are getting stuck by let's say a big problem, a challenge, that is actually a stepping stone for the transformation, the journey of that person. Okay, so you pick up any leader, any world famous leader, the roadblocks or the confusions are the stepping stones for enlightenment. This is about the way how we see and perceive the world around you. Allow yourself to see, but you don't allow yourself. A lot of times when we are looking for something, we forget to see. It is important for us to be in the moment, in the present moment, looking for the possibilities, because this is the art of radiating possibility. All as NLP is about seeing what you have always seen, but you are recognizing and perceiving what you have never thought of. Okay, so this is about seeing to believe that there are a lot of possibilities around us, and you are looking for those possibilities which are just right in front of your eyes, but they get old. This is most relevant for the new year. A goal without a date is just a dream. That means it is important for us to put a date to our goals, to our dreams, and it is important for us to make sure that we work towards those dates. So, the new year has started. We have our goals for this new year. I'm sure that some of you have also written them down, but it is important that you put a date. Maybe it is a special occasion, maybe it is a special milestone, maybe it is your birthday, somebody in your family's birthday where you want that important goal to be realized. So put that date which is really, really special to you, and you will definitely work towards your goal. And this is the quote or the mindset with which we have started the Science of Mind Club, the entire session, as well as this NLP mini series. And the answer actually lies within us. So, what is it all about? So, we have a very famous inspirational personalities picture on this slide. Many of us know this gentleman. He's been a mentor, a thought leader, a guru to a lot of neuro-linguistic programming experts around the world, as well as an inspiration to many more who followed. So, we are talking about Milton Erickson today. Most people walk through the world in a trance of disempowerment. Our work is to transform that into a trance of empowerment, which means that whether you believe that you can do it, you can make it, or whether you believe that you can't make it, or you have a limiting belief, both of those beliefs, they may be true, may not be true. But a lot of times people get into this downward spiral of constantly beating themselves up in that trance of disempowerment. And our role as leaders, as coaches, as healers is to help them find that empowerment within them, finding that spark within them, that spark of positivity. This is what this entire endeavor of Science of Mind Club is all about, to finding that spark, to finding that glow which exists within each one of us so that we can be excellent in whatever we do. And the technology that we're exploring in this mini series for being excellent is called Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which is a science and an art, which is how we can rewire our brain. I strongly encourage that you catch up on the earlier episodes if you have not seen, because there's like a 10-part mini series and we are on the seventh class. So there are six more classes which have already happened. So you can catch up, and there are some very powerful foundational concepts that we are sharing on this mini series. What is this Science of Mind Club all about? It is about sharing, it is about helping people help themselves to become coaches, community leaders, so that they can bring more coaches in the world, bring more leaders in the world. Every Sunday, we are connecting for 30 to 40 minutes around 10 a.m. sharp. It's just a 30 minutes class. It doesn't take much of your time, but it's about incremental improvement. It is about incremental learning on these concepts of psychology, NLP, and mindfulness. Slowly and steadily, with that incremental progress, we have come a long way. And this 2025 has to be really, really special because we are going to apply a lot of these learnings. Totally pro bono, free initiative. It will always be like that. The views expressed are of my own. It is my own research that I've been doing from my own free time on these topics. I've been blessed to meet some amazing mentors, amazing coaches, and I have collected these learnings. And I'm, really, really, I feel a lot of gratitude that I'm sharing this with you. And that's absolutely right. That it is about sharing. It is about community which we are building together. If you're still curious, there is a book that I have put together. It is available on Kindle. The second edition has also come up, the 7 course leadership menu. And this is about some positive stories. And the whole idea is that we learn to apply all this. It is a good knowledge, but we definitely should apply it. And we feel free to share it, because the more we share, the more we learn. Yeah. And the only thing that we expect out of you is you still be curious to learn. So, before I share the concept of the day, I'll share a small story with you. Milton Erickson was this genius who pioneered a lot of these techniques of helping people in the realm of psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, and he was, I would say, one of the role models for neuro-linguistic programming. And the entire toolkit of Milton model, it stems out of the life of Milton Erickson. So Milton Erickson, before he became this accomplished psychotherapist and the hypnotherapist in America, once upon a time he was also a farm boy. And you can just observe that in this story, that how Erickson, with his kind of an inner genius, with the creative genius, has kind of found a solution to a problem that was looking unsolvable. One day, when Erickson returned from his high school, so he was a high school student that time, he saw that a runaway horse, it was just all saddled up, runaway horse, and it just passed through a group in a farmer's yard. And this horse was looking for water. Farmer didn't recognize, and this horse jumped, and he tried to catch hold of the reins of the horse, but this horse was kept on running and running. Now, Erickson was absolutely surprised that, what is this kind of a horse doing here? So, this is where the genius kicked in. So what Erickson did next was that he headed to the horse and he rode the horse. Okay. And he didn't know that where this horse will head. So he just sat on the horse, pulled the rein, and said, "Giddy up." And he headed for the highway. And the horse started walking. And whenever the horse was was in a state of a confusion, he would just pull the reins and he said, "Giddy up." The horse started galloping, horse started trotting, and now that he has forgotten that he's on a highway, the horse started moving on into a field, and he would just pull the reins, bring this attention back where he's supposed to be, and finally, about 4 miles, when the horse came to a farmer's farm in kind of a place which was very, very familiar, and he came to the farmyard and he stood in front of the farmer. And the farmer, to all his surprise, he looked at the horse and said, "Oh, that's my horse. How did it come back?" And Erickson said that it was 4 miles from here and he ran very fast, and I'm coming from so and so town and from 4 miles away. So the farmer was all the more surprised. His surprise was absolutely skyrocketing. And he was like, "So, how did the horse come here? Did you know the way to my farm?" And to which Erickson replied, "I didn't know the way back to home, but I knew that this horse would know." I'll leave the story here that many a times our unconscious mind knows that what is the response, what is the solution, what is the outcome that we seek. And a lot of times it is all about understanding that a problem which has not been created by you consciously may require a little help from your unconscious, where it helps you to take yourself, your energies, your resources back on track, where at times your unconscious asks you to giddy up, where at times your unconscious is asking you to stay focused. And all it does is to just tap into this superpower, just to tap into this inner resource, inner guide, inner creative genius that can help you stay on track to your goal. This is what Milton model is all about. And I'm going to dive deeper and I'm going to open up this Milton model for you, that what does it mean. 30 minutes class is definitely not enough to do a deep dive into Milton model, but I've carefully curated certain segments which can help you get a flavor of what Milton model is, which can help you understand that what is the overview of a Milton model. Milton model is all about a language that invites your unconscious mind to take charge, language that is ambiguous, artfully vague, but is doing the magic by helping your mind go into something called as a TDS. TDS means trans-derivational search. For any problem that you have, there are enough of experiences that you have in your mind of people who are your coaches, or even the entire human history, and your mind has the access to all those resources, all those experiences, and it can attach meaning, it can attach some solutions, it can attach some relevant suggestions along the way, only if you try and you catch hold of this unconscious mind, and you call upon this unconscious mind to look for those. That is the only thing. What this language of Milton model is doing in NLP is, it is inviting that unconscious mind to go inside, go deeply inside, and look for those possibilities. So let's get started with some of the concepts. As I said, it is art of being artfully vague. Many a times you'll not understand that what the person is speaking, but what the person is speaking to is not to your conscious mind, but to your unconscious or your subconscious mind. So if you remember the last session, we said that your conscious mind, some of the last classes we have been talking about this theme, that your conscious mind can only remember 7 plus minus 2 things, but your unconscious mind can remember 4 million bits of information already. So it is about not checking in a book, but doing a search on Google, which has got a lot of these resources, these tags, and it can search and bring in the right solutions in front of you. Yeah. So one of the first ways in which we can create artfully vague languages by lost performative. Lost performative means that we don't know who is performing that action. Like somebody says that that's good, a good as per whom. Somebody says that's too bad, bad as per whom. Somebody says it's bad too. Who is saying it's bad too? So it is the entire language that we are looking at. Or one of the favorites of Milton Erickson's was "That's right." The moment he says "That's right," people get connected with their inner self. That okay, yeah, we know that's right, but that's right to whom? We really don't know. But then that's the language. That's the beauty of this language. Like sometimes people say that it is important to whom? For example, if I say it is important for us to realize that there lies a lot of possibilities that we can get ourselves connected to only if we plan to choose. I've given you a sentence, but this sentence started with something which lacks performative. Who's performing this action? That's the first language model. Second is called cause and effect. Yeah, so cause and effect. As you sit there listening to me, you can begin to feel that your focus has increased. This is a sentence that I've just said. It has a cause, it has an effect. We are just loosely connecting the cause and effect. And in a way, it is becoming like an invitation for you to go deeper. Yeah, go deeper and search for those possibilities. Cause and effect. As you sit on this chair listening to me on this Zoom call, you will understand that you're becoming more and more focused on my voice. Or something like you can hear the music and the music will help you to relax. And normally, many a times we say all these things casually in a conversation, but we don't understand that how powerful these suggestions can be, how powerful this language can be. Sometimes we don't need a performative, we don't need actual cause and effect relationship, but see how beautifully this language is creating that cause and effect relation. Yeah. Another one of my favorite ones, as you are here on this Sunday morning on this class, you are going to pick up a lot of skills that most of the people who have not shown up. Because you are here, you are going to learn NLP more easily and effortlessly. And that's a cause and effect relationship that I have just established. And for the sake of giving you one of my favorite examples, it is universal quantifiers. A lot of time people are either limiting themselves up or they are making a judgment which is very solid in the belief by this. So what is this universal quantifiers? The best example is, and you know this already, right? That nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. You might have heard this. So who's saying nobody is perfect? Nobody is, that means nobody in the world. That means that all these billions of people around the world, nobody is perfect. So that's an example of being artfully vague. Sometimes people say, all the people I've met all the time, da 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 da. Yeah. So they make pass on a judgment. Or some people say that everything means something. Everyone knows it to be true. There's always more to learn. All the meanings will be clear. Everybody knows this part is easy. Everyone has something to learn. One can never know all this is to know. Everybody knows you can learn all things. So whenever we are using words like nobody, everybody, all, everything, every time, we are universally quantifying things. Now, the whole rationale of sharing this with you is understand that there are language patterns which, being absolutely vague, we critically examine, they don't make sense. But when we listen to them, This kind of a language is kind of helping us move towards a direction. Okay? It is, in a way, switching off our critical mind and is getting in touch with our unconscious or our subconscious. And the best way to do that is metaphors. So, what are we doing when we are being artfully vague using this language, using the metaphors? Is we are giving a moral of the story at the end of it. So, these metaphors, the stories, and the nested stories, which are the next level of a technique, they are in a way bringing you to a more receptive frame of mind. And at the end of it, we give a suggestion, we give a moral that stays with you. For example, you might have heard of the story of a farmer. Okay, and this is a story which is also there in my book. And this book I have written called Seven Course Leadership Menu, and it is a collection of then stories that are there. So this particular story is about a farmer, and this farmer is working in China. And at that point in time, the Emperor of China, he got in touch with this military journal who has this mindset that, okay, we should increase our army for this war. And to increase our army in the war, we definitely should recruit more people. So get to the neighboring towns, neighboring villages, and whosoever is above 18 years, we should get that person, and that person should join army and should join us for this pretty much straightforward strategy they had, but maybe not the best strategy in the interest of the people who are there. Okay. So one day there's this farmer who had worked on many crops, and one day his horse ran away. On hearing the news, his neighbors came to visit and said, "Such a bad luck." They said sympathetic. The farmer replied, "Maybe." The next morning the horse returned, bringing with it 3 other wild horses. And the neighbors came again and they said, "How wonderful." And the old man replied, "Maybe." The following day, his son tried to ride one of the untamed horses and was thrown, and he broke his leg. He fractured his leg. The neighbors came again, offered their sympathy on this misfortune, but our friend, the farmer, the old farmer, wisely he said, maybe it is a misfortune. The day after, the military officials of this king came to the village, draft young men into army, and seeing the son's leg was broken, they passed by him. Okay, they didn't select him. The neighbors congratulated the farmer, saying that how wonderful things had turned out. And the farmer replied, "Maybe." So the moral of the story is that we cannot look at one instance in its entirety. We cannot look at one instance saying that the failure is final, or we cannot just look at one success saying that the success is everlasting. We are all work in progress, and we have to all work towards a goal of becoming better than how we were a day before. So that's an example of a metaphor, that's an example of a story. And if you remember that we started few stories, we started with few stories around, let's say the most recent one being farmer, where we realized that we have to put things into perspective, the Zen tale of the wise farmer. Or it can also be about the horse who knows the way but is so confused that has landed 4 miles away. All it requires for us is, the most important thing is, some ideas that provoke action, some suggestions that help you get that horse on the right track. This horse, my friends, is the unconscious mind, the powerful unconscious mind that you have. And these stories, these metaphors are nothing but an example of how we can just tap into that creative genius and how we can provoke certain optimum actions, the optimal actions for our goals by the ideas which have been creatively presented. So it is like a child who's not ready to sleep. The parent can keep on telling that child, go to sleep, and you need to sleep, and you need to sleep so that you can get up. Or the parent can take a very, very metaphorical storyteller's approach of sharing a story that easily and peacefully achieves the outcome of child sleeping. So all it requires for us as leaders, as healers, as coaches is to have that attention and the intention. Yeah. To modify our communication. When we change our communication, when we change the way how we speak, people respond differently. Some people respond to very direct suggestions, some people respond to very detailed steps with logic, with data, and some people will need a metaphorical way of engaging their unconscious mind. Some people need that language of being artfully vague so that they can connect with their inner resource. And like Milton Erickson said, that's absolutely right. That's right. And you're learning this well. And all the last 6, 7 classes that you have spent, this being the eighth one, I'm so happy that you have picked up these skills. And I would say that in this mini NLP course, there are all the resources which you need to build a solid foundation. We have covered that in detail. So I would say that that was the journey for today. As we look ahead, what can be ahead in our journey? It is about sharing with others. It is about learning more. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. You can either put it on the chat window, you can either put it on the comment sections of this video class on YouTube, or you can just drop me an email. I also share my WhatsApp number with you later on. So, any which ways, I'll be more than happy to build this skill for you in this new year. And that's a token of gratitude to my mentors and my teachers. And when once you pick up these skills, you keep on sharing this with others because that's the foundation of magic. If you find that magic inside you, it is important to share it with others to transform their life. Take care of your friends, take care of your family, take care of your parents. Keep on learning, as learning is always fun. And I thank you for your attention. I thank you for your time on this Sunday class where we covered the Milton model, where I gave you a flavor of the Milton model. And if you'd like to build these skills a bit more, there are two new offerings I would say that I'm sharing. One is this unconscious alchemy, which is nothing but a nice name that I've found for my pro bono coaching. So there is a WhatsApp number. If you want me to get onto a call over the weekend, it's absolutely free, confidential, and pro bono. You can schedule your call by just dropping me a WhatsApp. I can look into my calendar and schedule some 30, 45 minutes. And I can help you pick up these skills, which can be helpful for removing pain, fear, anxiety, weight control, all of these things. And in general, if you want to work towards your goal, then I'm definitely have a lot of resources as a coach, so I can share with you so that how can you build yourself to achieve your goal. So that is number one. And something new that I'll now be doing is that there is a free workshop once in a month. I'll be hosting this free workshop. It will not be recorded, it will be on Google Meet. And this workshop will be about how do you build confidence to speak, how do you build confidence in general, and how can you build confidence to get rid of your anxieties and fears. So this workshop I'm calling Build Super Confidence Like Superman. You simply have to just scan the QR code which is there on the screen. The QR code will take you to a Google Forms page where you answer a few questions. That is it. Okay. And whenever we schedule this workshop in the month, I'll send you the link. You can hop onto that Google Meet workshop and you can pick up some really solid tools to build your super confidence like Superman. Okay, that's all for today's class. I hope you like the New Year gifts that I've shared. I hope that you like these topics. It was absolutely amazing and wonderful for this task to cover all these skills and in the beginning of the year, which will be very useful, which I feel will be very useful for you this 2025. Wishing you once again a very, very happy 2025, and I hope that achieve a lot of your goals that you have set for 2025. And wherever you need any help, feel free to just drop us a note. We'll be just all away next away. Thank you so much. I wish you a happy Sunday ahead. Thank you. Till we meet next time. Enjoy.